Hey, welcome back to our next learning video. This time, it's not that I prepared a video to focus on only one or two subjects. I prepared this time a video with fame, and I give you insight in a whole training session where I focused on power moves. And the idea is to look at multiple things. Like for one, I want to look at or give you an insight how short in total this power workout can be, especially with still such a young horse, and he's still quite uneducated, especially in comparison to a horse like Casper or Ludwig. So the sessions in this, each individual sequence in this training session is really relatively short. And I also want to give you an idea of how much we want to give the horses freedom. Like the idea is like, I mean, if you look at modern horse training, modern dressage, the horses are really quite restricted between the reins, between the rider's legs, and then it's almost like micromanaging, and the horses have not much room to show their expressions or show their thoughts and ideas. They kind of really have to do every millimeter what the rider says. And we really love the idea and of giving the horse as much freedom as possible, because we want to see what is the horse's idea, what is the horse's thought about showing some power, showing some collection. So it means that especially if the horse is not already 10, 20 years in the education, that we really allow them to figure out how they can use their body in the collection. And then I also want to show you, how much I retreat, like how little I do to give him this freedom. And also we want to look at some other people traits, but I talk about this more than in the video. So I directly start to share the video with you with fame. And in the beginning, I just let it run through that you get an idea of what we're doing here. But again, the focus is also not only how short the sequences are, but what I did here to start with is had the idea, okay, I want collection. I let it run through, like I said. So my idea is that I said, okay, I want collection from you, what means I want short steps, I want slow steps, so that he can lift himself as much as possible, so that he can shift as much weight on his hindquarter as possible, while he kind of squats down, sits down. But then my next biggest focus is that I kind of put some glasses on me, which mainly look at the positive of what fame is doing. Because hey, in our days, in our kind of daily life, it doesn't matter if you watch television or if you read some newspapers, there's so much negativity out there, and we kind of get trained so much to look at the negative, like what's still not so good, what's still not perfect, or stuff like that. I think you get what I mean. And what I do is here, I really put my glasses on to say, okay, what positive can I see? What is he doing good? What is he doing better? And the idea is with giving him room to express himself, to show his thoughts. Then I put my glasses on to look for all of the positive, to give him as soon as possible a break, to relax again. And with this, I stay as passive as possible and try to only kind of interfere, I think is the word, and step in if I feel like I have to push him a little bit away to stay safe. And I think this is what you see here, really good. And on top of that, I mean, he's even if he's still so young and has not many years of training yet, kind of about a year, because he's so expressive and often quite energetic, he does a lot. So you can see here nice with a kind of more expressive horse, how little you can do and how much he's giving. I mean, this is really special with him, and we enjoy this every time when we can spend some time with him, and it's a real gift. Okay, so we start again from the beginning, And now I'll go through a bit slower in slow motion and explain more in detail what I do here. So again, my focus is, and this is really the most important thing, because it's so easy. We go to our beautiful horses, then we are with them and we are blown away how gorgeous and sweet they are. And then it's really easy to focus only on them. And then, of course, it's also easy if we have some thoughts in our mind we learned maybe from school or television, or the negativity, that we look at the negative. But hey, the horses, they didn't choose to be with us there. They didn't ask to do this workout. So our thought is really to be the best possible human for our horse, to give them the best possible experience, because again, they didn't choose to be there. That was our great idea we came up with. And so we believe really it's our responsibility to make this time as pleasurable as possible, even if we're in a workout, and look for as much good as possible, to give him as often a pause as possible, and almost more important, to really have the best possible energy in ourselves. Because in our education program, we are mainly silent, because we communicate as much as possible with our body language, but they feel everything. If we have negative thoughts, if we're emotional, frustrated, depressed or aggressive, they feel it, even if we don't touch them physically. So for us, it's really important that we have all the empathy and love for them we only can have. And this is what I really remind me every time before I start, to set up the scenery already super good. And then what is also involved in the focus, what I do here to get started, is I go from a relaxed body energy, what you see here. I have one knee bent and I have almost only so much body tension in my body, so I can stay physical upright. Now I go in a tension energy, and now I magnet him up, like I go up even a little bit more. And look what he does. He does directly more collection. He leans a bit back here. Didn't exactly ask for this lean back, but this is what I meant in the beginning, that what I do here is I give him a certain frame where I say, please stay in this frame, what means I don't want, or I don't even allow him if he leans or pushes against my personal space, because that's for safety. That's really mandatory, so that I can stay safe. And another kind of border I have, that I don't want then he pushes forward through the halter. And then what I do is I have in my plan, okay, my focus, I go from this relaxed body energy into my magnet. I go up the energy, build some tension, and I see what does he do. Like the only limits I give him, that I say, don't lean against me, don't lean against the halter forward. And he already does a super gift here in leaning back, sitting down. He is, as we call vorständig in German, has the left front leg in front of vertical. And this is directly all of the positive I see. So first I need the focus, the plan, then I need awareness to see that. And because in the beginning, even for quite a while, we can miss all of that, especially like with him, he's fast. So this is why we do this here, that we go through in slow motion and stop it, because then our eye has the chance to see that and to save that. And then it's much easier than when it happens live, that we have a chance to see it. So why I decided to give him, or I didn't give him a pause, I think. Let's see. Yeah. So why I did not give him a pause here, show you again from the beginning, is because he collapsed a little bit in the front. If you look at the wither, like a lot of good happened. This is what I noticed first. But then what I noticed as well, if I look at the wither, how high here the wither is, and the more he leans back, look at the wither in comparison to the background, the more he also went down. Like it's almost like he collapses in the whole front or in the whole body. And this is not bad, but it's also not what I wanted. I didn't give him a bad feeling for that, but I also didn't give him a pause. So I just kind of stood passive and magneted him head forward and gave a slight feel on the rope, on the halter. And then just I waited to see, okay, what is his next idea? What is he trying to stop me? So now what I see here also, he has a nice Hankenbeugung, as we call it in German. So his pelvis is quite, so he has kind of a sit down, like a squat in human language. His pelvis is quite vertical. The rest of the joints are already flexed, bent as well. So he takes some weight on. The left front foot is vertical. What I also see that he has weight on the hind legs is that the fetlocks is lower in the hind legs than in the front foot. And this is because he lifts the front and shifts some weight on the hind legs. And then what happens here now, he lifts even a little bit more. And then what he does now, the left front foot stays on ground. And now he kind of leans with the chest over this left front foot, leans more, and falls forward and down. I show you in live. It's almost a little bit like he falls forward down into a hole. Poof. And then he catches his balance again. And again, this is not good or bad. This is just what happened. And this is nothing I want, particularly for later on for collection, because it's more the opposite. He fell forward down. In collection, want him up and shifting weight to the hind quarter. So I just didn't give him a pause, but I still stay passive. I still don't give him a negative feeling, more the opposite, because look, he directly tries again. He is diagonal, right hind, left front, does shorter steps. Now he can stay much more up in the front. And now he does good. Now he went in a school hold again, didn't step so far back with the hind leg, and he lifted now the wither a little bit more, go a little bit back. Look at the wither now, and look at the wither now, comes a bit up. And now even more. And for this I said, thank you so much. Now I go in a relaxed body energy and you get a pause. So it's kind of, I go in my magnet in high body energy because I want that he puts some power in. And then I stay as passive as possible. I don't disturb him as much as I can. And then with a horse like him, who's quite energetic, quite expressive, quite centered in his mental emotional traits, what means he's already so sensitive to my body energy, what means he responds really, he's kind of matching my body energy instantly. And often he's even showing some willingness that he puts some seal in. So what is awesome for me, because I don't have to push him into something. I really it almost feels like I can do nothing and just wait until something great happens, like a present comes out. Of course, it's not that I don't do anything because I'm in my magnet and a high body energy, but it's not that I have to use any support energy here right now with him. It feels awesome. And I'm sure not only to me, also to him. Then here you see again, I'm in my relaxed body energy, and here's a great example of how sensitive he responds to that. I go up with my body energy and he's like a mirror, and he goes up, and I even lean a bit against him in the backwards, and he leans back. Now I lean a bit in the forwards, so I lean backwards so that he comes in the forwards. He's a bit stuck because he wants to show off his school hold. That's also okay. But what's even more important, not only that you see this here, what he does, but that you use this opportunity or this chance to say, I mean, how did Franzi do that? It's not, I guarantee you, when we got fame, he was not like that. He was super distracted and he didn't respond to our body energies in the beginning because he was so busy with everything else. And he learned that the human body energy has almost no meaning, because it's so easy for us human to be unaware about. One point is what our plan is, what we call focus, and then what actually our body really does. And then analyzing what the horse responds to our body energy, and then going kind of into this like a circle, checking what is our plan? Did we even have a plan? And how did we show this with our body energy, maybe support energy. And what did the horse read? What did the horse respond? And so the important thing is here that we learn as human to make a plan up front what we want to do and how we want to do it. Like I had a plan here that I go from a relaxed body energy, what means pause. You don't have to do anything, you can relax, into a moved body energy. I go up and he responds. And this can only happen if I use this consistently again and again with a lot of conscious, so that he can learn that when his human, in this case it's me, changes the body energy and the body position, that this has a meaning. And if he would not respond, of course I have some support energy, support my body energy, but body energy is first, and I only use the support energy to support my body energy if needed, for example with steady feel on the rope, or with some rhythmic energy in anything, my hands, arms, ropes, or whip. And in that way, with this focus and awareness and timing is of course also crucial, I can help him again to understand what he generally already knows from other horses, but I can help him understand that humans also speak this kind of language. So here's a bit stuck, so I politely ask him forward. And here we see again that he gets a bit behind the vertical, so the front hoof lands up a bit more under the belly. And then he is dropping more, and kind of, it's like poof, falls down. But you see, I don't make a problem out of that. I just wait. Then this step was already better. He stays more up. Now he fell a bit forward, then he did his fast steps to catch his balance again. And now here's even a better school hold. Like again, I look for the positive. Like even though you can see in the beginning, I wanted some forward first, but then I said, okay, I want to allow him this experience to give his best in the school hold. So I put my hand down again and gave him the freedom. And I go a little bit back again. If you look at his position here where the wither is, quite low. And now look again, there's the wither against the bande, against the rail. And look how much he's rising. A lot. Now he even helps a little bit with the head and neck. For some people this would be negative because it's not looking so pretty yet, like an anthracite, but it doesn't matter because there is no anthracite yet. And I want that he is allowed to make the experience to help him with the head and neck. And the wither comes higher and higher, and now he pushes even up a little bit more. And if you look here at the pelvis, is how low the group is again, because if he's standing in a natural relaxed position, the group is above the rail. Now it's below, the pelvis is more vertical, he's bending his joints. And if you look again at the fetlock of the hind hoofs, in comparison to the front hoof, you see really how much weight he shifted. So it's really good what he does. And now these steps are also a bit more in balance. As the hind quarter back out to the rail again. Now a little bit coordination trouble comes. Yeah, and this is also so cool to see that they really have to learn that. And it's like if we learn something new. Often it feels like people have no understanding. If horses learn something that they have coordination and rhythm trouble, sometimes it feels like they think they're like computers or robots, which can do this naturally, directly. But just imagine if you learn a new dance, or if I imagine I would have to learn a new dance. I have no particular talent for that. So you could imagine there would be quite some coordination and rhythm challenges. And I probably would step my partner often on the foot and stuff like that. And this is also, the more I think about this, the more I can have empathy for Fame. That if he's in a situation like this here, I show you again, that I have empathy for him, that I don't think, oh my God, horse, why did you do that? That looks horrible. This doesn't look like an end result. But now I think I so understand you. I even think I'm still impressed that you try so hard, because I would be probably already frustrated. Here again, he lifts even more. And what is impressive here, that he goes in the sit down on the hind legs. Now he already starts with a sit down. He pushes himself up. He said, hey, Franzi, please give me enough time for trying that. And have a look at that. Now he stays in the sit down and the front leg is even vertical, or even, yeah, it's vertical. And now he steps even the left hind foot forward while maintaining this low group, like the group. Look again here at the group towards the, in comparison with the background, the rail, he hardly comes up. This is really amazing. And this is a good example of, people often say, oh my God, look at the head neck position. You look for one which is not as nice, yeah? Like this. Look at this, this is horrible. You hurt your horse. He goes in a hollow, he gets kissing spines and all of that. But already here, even if it's not a good position right now, look at the line of the back, like it's almost horizontal. When he's standing in a natural relaxed position, it goes more downhill. So a high head neck position and even a not so optimal head neck position doesn't mean necessarily that the horse is in a hollow back and hurting himself. And a high head neck position in combination with a thoracic sling lift, with a chest lift in combination with a sit down in the hind quarter, does exactly the opposite. Look now at the line of the back, it's horizontal. So that is really, really good what he does here. And in this position, stepping forward is amazing. And then he couldn't really hold it and push the front end up. And now look, even here, now it goes uphill. So no hollow there, no kissing spines. It's just absolute power move, which is gets the vertebra more apart. So more the opposite happens here, especially when the belly is so tight, like Fame shows here. Then he went a bit in a diagonal, and then I test, okay, what does he do when I ask for a bit bigger steps? And he went in a super collected trot. And here again, he responded super sensitive, and now it's even more difficult because I don't have the rail next to us. What's much more difficult because he can swing out more. Now you can see here he's in a super head neck position. Belly muscles are super tight. He's in a diagonal. So this is really absolutely great. Super present of him. And again, I look and see how short can sequences be. What means I have my glasses on, my positive glasses, and see what can I scan, what can I see to see everything what's positive, to give him as soon as possible a pause and say, thanks, really, really well done. And while waiting for this present, I try to stay as passive as possible so he can try as much as he wants to experiment and see how he can position his body. And like here shown, in a really excellent position. Then a little bit foot salad, and there we can see how much he gets stuck here under his belly, almost a bit like a mountain goat. But this is just really short, and then he tries and probably didn't feel so good. And then he tries again to maintain him more up in the chest. Now he sinks out a little bit, and then he loses the collection. But even this, I don't make a problem out of that. He even now went a bit in a du passage, a more collected trot. And then he said that he stopped. And then he said, okay, pause. And interesting now on this side, on this hand, is that he has a bit more trouble in the beginning to collect. Because I feel that because he has more forward, he leans more on the halter. This is why I vibrated and bumped him a bit on the halter to say, hey, please give me more compliance and don't lean on the halter. Like I already explained you before, he didn't like that so much. But then he really put quite some effort into not lean more on. Now I reminded him politely again. And also here, I mean, I analyze it and see, okay, he is a bit, from our mental emotional traits, in this case, a mental trait that I say is a bit minimal pushy. So I come with a +1. So it's important that I have a focus, that I have this in my mind, that this can happen, that if it happens, that I have enough awareness to notice it. Then I need a good feeling to say, okay, I understand. I mean, he has to make these experiences. It's maybe more difficult for him. So I really have empathy for him. Then I need a good timing, when to step in, and also good balance to see how much do I step in and how much do I retreat, to let him just test things. So even if we talk and look so much at the horse, it's even more crucial that we develop our traits, and that we get more and more aware, more get more feeling for the horse. And now a lot of good things happen here. Like first, he's a bit doing bigger steps, then lost a bit balance. Now he gets better with the balance, goes in a diagonal. Then you see again how the left front foot is behind vertical, and go a bit back. Now the left front leg's almost vertical. Now he leans with his chest over this left front foot. He leans more and more and blooms, falls forward. Then he goes in a diagonal, what's again super. Now his pelvis goes a bit more vertical again, as in comparison from here. Goes up, you see it here pretty good. Goes more vertical again, diagonal. He pushes himself up. He goes into a sit down again. He lifts himself up again, joined with the right hind into a diagonal. And then we kind of decided at the same time and said, this was good enough. Thank you. You get a pause. Here you see again how he starts. And this happens especially with the horses which don't have much experience yet, that they start and kind of walk like you're even not there. So they start kind of their own step length and speed. And this is no problem. It's just important that you notice it and decide with empathy. It's again this balance part. How much do you step in, or how much do you say, okay, I go with your step length and step speed in the beginning. But here I tap him a bit with this whip on the shoulder with rhythmic energy to say, hey, remember, can you please give me a bit more compliance and attention to click into my step length? And then he directly is like, he says, okay, I do it. He even leans back a little bit, goes even more into a school hold. So, yeah, and this was even cooler, how much he's still again in the good sit down. So here you see again how much more the pelvis is horizontal. And in a second, now he takes it much more vertical. And you see also that the beginning of the tail comes lower. And for the people who have trouble to see that, they can do at home things like this if they have the possibility on the laptop, on the iPhone, that you slide more back and forwards, and that you repeat this and give your eye really the time and chance to see this again and again, because with seeing it just once, it's difficult to get it, and it's even more difficult seeing it live then. And the more you take time here in slow motion, the easier it is to see it then live. Like again, I see here how the group is. Pelvis is quite horizontal. Now the group goes lower and lower. The pelvis a bit more vertical. The tail comes lower. I see that he now starts the joints more. I see that the fetlock is lower on the hind legs than on the front legs. I see that the wither comes up. It's really a lot. So the more we prepare ourselves, the better and easier it is then for us, and the easier we can help the horse to understand what we're looking for. Here again, he joins into a diagonal. Belly muscles are super tight, still under good tension. Now he fell forward a little bit again, forward and down. So now he has to catch up a bit. But this now he does really super good. I'll show you first on normal speed, how he catches up and does then this double tap. And with this I said, it started from the beginning. I gave him the pause for that. I'll show again slowly. So here he fell forward, poof. Now he really takes the hind legs under again, bends the joints on the hind leg, takes weight on the hind quarter, has the right front leg vertical, takes the right hind leg a little bit more under, lifts the front, and now I think I went a bit too far. Oh yeah, does now this nice double jump on the front legs to the right and then back to the left, while still having the weight on the hind legs. And I mean, this is really super cool. I'll show you one more time live because it's so cool. And this without that I have to make him doing this, that is, I don't have to tell him, hey, you fell forward and now you have to come up. It's really, like I said, I mean, sure, he has the foundation of being generally quite centered in the mental emotional traits. So he shows here that he's mostly courageous, compliant, calm, attentive. He can maintain gait and direction. He's sensitive. He shows some willing. And of course, the better these traits are, the easier it is from the horse side. But the crucial part is really here the person, because the horse can only kind of be as good as we are. Because if I would have fame and I have no focus and I'm unaware and I don't have understanding for what he has to go through and learn, and my timing is really completely the opposite of what I want to let him know, then it's really difficult for him. So if we want that the horses get the chance to get as much freedom as possible, that they really can test and play around and see what happens if I do this or this, then it's really getting more and more important that we as the human, that we're not only calm, but that we have a plan, what we want to achieve and how, where do we position ourselves, which body energies do we have, and what kind of indications am I looking for in the horse? What is if he does A, B, C, D, does he get a pause for that or do I wait? And I mean, with this positive classes I talked about I have on, I scan non-stop I scan, does he do anything of this, the things I'm looking for? And if not, it's no problem. I stay calm, I wait, I'm patient, and just give him the chance to give him more time to find out what I'm looking for. And this feels absolutely amazing. And I hope so much that it also feels amazing for the horse, not pushing them non-stop and giving them all this freedom so that they can develop their own thoughts, talents. And this is really what it was about today, giving you the insight into a training session with Fame. Like in the beginning, I talked about showing you how short the sequence was. Like I think this was only in total 2.5 minutes or something. Of course, I edited the pauses out, but also showing you how short these individual sequences in the whole training session were, how much effort and zeal he puts in, how much he tries, how much he still has to struggle with coordination and stability and balance, but also showing you that this is no problem, not giving him a negative feeling and more the opposite, having understanding for this, empathy, and being more impressed even how much they try for us and give everything. And this is really what it was about, that we develop us more and more so that we can give the horses the best possible experience with us, that they start to love it, spending time with us, or not start, but that they love it being with us, and that they don't think, oh my God, now this person comes again, now I have to do this horrible things and have another horrible 1 hour with this person. We really want that they love it and that we can develop them mental, emotional, and physical. Cool. Then I look forward to seeing you next time and love to hear your comments. Bye.